Lisa Savaniak here from lifelikeyoumeanit.com, coming to you live with our Monday motivation. So, I am going to do as promised. Last week, we were talking about how to get the most out of your New Year's resolutions, and I was suggesting that to keep doing the same old thing, meaning with yourself, with how you speak to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you speak about yourself, doing that the same and expecting a different result, expecting you to magically stick with your New Year's resolutions, magically have success in an area that you have maybe tried before or that is really important to you that you really want to make happen, that is really the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I was suggesting to you last week that that is the way to move forward and set really amazing New Year's resolutions, is by actually starting to pay attention to your level of awareness, right? What is it that you are saying to yourself? What do you even think about yourself? If you had to describe yourself to somebody else, what type of language would you be using? And so I suggested that that be a little piece of homework, if you will, from last week until this week. And I suggested that you start with asking yourself that question, that very, very deep question: who am I? And so that's what I would like to talk to you about today. Because when I ask that question to you, I hope that you took a moment to pause to really think, who am I? Because so many times when that question gets asked of us, we immediately go with an answer. We immediately start to tell people our name and our profession, whether or not we're a parent. If we are, we're obviously a child to somebody and maybe a niece or an uncle or whatever, right? We've got all these different titles. We've got job experience behind us. So we've got titles there and roles that we play. We've got an age, right? We've got a birthday. We've got a height and a weight. And there's all kinds of things that we can use to describe us. But is that who we are? And I know that this is really deep and it might seem like, well, what does this have to do with anything? But this is what I do, right? This isn't who I am, but that is what I do. I do awareness, right? I help to raise people's awareness about themselves and their world that they've created for themselves and their place in that world. And if we want any kind of significant change, we need to start looking at us because we're the ones that created our experience that we've got going on around us. And it starts with who you understand yourself to be. If you think that you are, if I was to say, okay, well, my name is Lisa, I'm 46 years old, I have blonde hair, although I do color it, but I'm pretty sure it's still blonde if I let it grow out. Let's see, I've got two stepsons, I'm married, I'm self-employed, I've got this amazing business. Oh, at one time I was 10 years old, and at one time I weighed, I don't know, 40 kilograms, and I don't weigh that now. And right, there's all kinds of things that I could use to describe myself, but none of them are who I am. I might feel very passionate about the work that I do. I might feel like I'm an instigator for change, that I'm raising the physical vibration of millions of people around the world because of X, Y, and Z, all of the different things that I do. And I'm definitely somebody who is interested in that, who feels drawn to helping other people. But that still isn't who I am. I'm not even the words that are going on in my head, right? We have conversations with ourselves all day long. If you stop and actually just step back and watch yourself, right? Metaphorically speaking, right? Listen to what is actually going on in your head. you'll realize that you're having a conversation in there all the time. But is it really you? Is that you? Are you the voice that you hear in your head? When somebody does something and that causes you to question it and say, I wonder where that came from, or where is her head at that she's thinking about that? And is she being sarcastic? Was she actually being mean to me? Why? What have I done? Oh, let me think about all the conversations that I've ever had with this person. And you just go on a whole and complete tangent. We all do it, right? It's our way of trying to solve a problem. But in order for us to solve a problem and feel like we are useful in that way and we have a nice orderly world around us that we can manage, we first have to have a problem. And that seems to be the job of that voice in our head, our ego or our psyche. So is that really you? I don't think that's me. When I answer the question for myself of who am I, I'm the person who notices what's going on in my head. I'm the person that sits back and watches what's happening and how this body and this psyche and this ego are responding to things going on around her. I'm not the one doing the responding, I'm the one watching the response. I know that that sounds, well, for some will sound absolutely crazy, and for others will be like, yes, I want to get to that point. And others still will be like, welcome to the club, Lisa. Yes, I'm right there with you. And again, I bring all of this up because really having an awareness about who you are changes your perception of reality. It changes your actual reality, right? It changes the world that you are interacting with and all the people that you are interacting with. Not because you're trying to control the uncontrollable, other people, but because you're able to see you for the first time and your role that you have in your own life. And that changes everything. I hope that that was inspiring and useful for you, and I hope I've given you a little bit to think about. So let's jump back in next week and we'll take it from here. Please, please feel free to leave comments. Let me know what you thought about this. Let us know who you think you are. How do you answer that question? Who am I? And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.